Yashodanandana Vrajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravana Jari Yamuna Tiravana Jari Jaya Dada Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gope Chanavallabha Girivadadari Jaya Gope Chanavallabha Girivadadari Yashodanandana Vrajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravana Jari Yamuna Tiravana Jari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitya Gauda, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gauda, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Goranitai, Shishi Goranitai. Jaya Radha Madamohan, Radha Madamohan, Radha Madamohan Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madamohan, Radha Madamohan, Radha Madamohan Shri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Nishingadev, Jayo Nishingadev, Jayo Nishingadev, Nishingadev. Jaya Pralamara, Jayo Pralamara, Jayo Pralamara, Jayo Pralamara. Jaya Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai, Istivanga Shri Prabhupada Nityangadif Kalat Maharaj Ki Jai, Radha Madhava Mohana Ki Jai, Gaur Premanand. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Jai Srila Vyasadeva ki jai.
January of 2023 with the first canto, and we have the verse, the shloka, from the 12th chapter, shloka 24, and let's see, we are reading half of the purport. Sarvasat Gunama Sarvasut Sarvasat Gunama Hatmye Sarvasat Gunama Hatmye Esha Krishna Manuvrata Esha Krishna Manuvrata Ranti Deva Ibodaro Ranti Deva Ibodaro Yayatir Iva Dharmika Yayatir Iva Dharmika
Sarva Satguna Mahatmye Esha Krishnam Anuvrataha Ranti Deva Vivodaro Yayatir Iva Dharmikaha Sarva Satguna Mahatmye Esha Krishnam Anuvrataha Ranti Deva Ivodaro Yayatir Iva Dharmikaha Sarva Satguna Mahatmye Esha Krishnam Anuvrataha Ranti Deva Ivodaro Yayati Iva Dharmikaha Sarva Satguna Mahatmye Esha Krishna Manuvrata Ranti Deva Ivodaro Yayati Iva Dharmikaha Sarva Satguna Mahatmye Esha Krishna Manuvrataha Ranti Deva Ivodaro Yayati Iva Dharmikaha. Ladies. Sarva Satguna Mahatmye Esha Krishna Manuvrataha Ranti Deva Ivodaro Yayati Iva Dharmikaha Sarva Satguna Mahatmye Esha Krishna Manuvrataha Ranti Deva Ivodaro Yayati Iva Dharmika. Word for word translation. Sarva Satguna Mahatmye. Glorified by all godly attributes. Eshaha, this child, Krishnam, like Lord Krishna, Anuvrataha, a follower in his footsteps, Ranti Deva, Eva, like, Udaraha, in the matter of magnanimity. Yayati. Eva. Like. Dharmikaha. Concerning religion. Translation. This child will be almost as good as Lord Sri Krishna by following in his footsteps. In magnanimity, he will become as great as King Rantideva, and in religion he will be like Maharaj Yayati. The translation is organized. Yeah. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Ki Jai. The last instruction of Lord Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is that one should give up everything and should follow in his footsteps. No, in the footsteps of the Lord. Alone. Less intelligent persons do not agree. Less intelligent persons do not agree to this great instruction of the Lord, as ill luck would have it. But one who is actually intelligent, catches up this sublime instruction and is immensely benefited. Foolish people do not know that association is the cause of acquiring qualities. Association with fire makes an object hot, even in the material sense. Therefore, association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead makes one qualified like the Lord. As we have discussed previously, one can achieve 78% of the godly qualities by the Lord's intimate association. To follow the instructions of the Lord is to associate with the Lord. The Lord is not a material object whose presence one has to feel for such association. Once again, this sentence. The Lord is not a material object whose presence one has to feel for such association. The Lord is present everywhere and at all times. It is quite possible to have his association simply by following his instructions, because the Lord and his instruction and the Lord and his name, fame, attributes and paraphernalia are all identical with him, being absolute knowledge. Maharaj Parikshit associated with the Lord even from the womb of his mother up to the last day of his valuable life, and thus he acquired thus all the essential good qualities of the Lord in all perfection. So that when we look at the verse, there are three personalities mentioned that Maharaj Parikshit is following in qualities. The first one is Lord Sri Krishna, amazingly, and the second one is King Rantideva, and the third one is Maharaj Yayati. We just want to have a glimpse today of Rantideva's personality. So, Rantideva, an ancient king prior to the Mahabharata period, referred to by Narada Muni while instructing Sanjaya, as mentioned in Mahabharata Drona Parva 67. He was a great king, liberal for his hospitality and distribution of foodstuff. Even Lord Sri Krishna praised his acts of charity and hospitality. He was blessed by the great Vasishta Muni by supplying him cold water, and thus he achieved the heavenly planets. He used to supply fruits, roots and leaves to the rishis, and thus he was blessed by them with fulfillment of his desires. Although a kshatriya by birth, he never ate flesh in his life. Okay. He was especially hospitable to Vasishta Muni, and by his blessings only he attained the higher planetary residence. He is one of those pious kings whose names are remembered in the morning and evening. And once again the shloka, Sarva Satgunamahatmye Esha Krishnam Anuvrataha Rantideva Ivodaro Yayatir Iva Dharmikaha. This child will be almost as good as Lord Sri Krishna by following in his footsteps. In magnanimity, he will become as great as King Rantideva, and in religion, he will be like Maharaj Yayati. So we thought today that we also like to hear from you in the second phase of our program. I have not heard so many Sankirtan stories yet. Haven't you? So I assume that some of you had at least one interesting story to tell. And yeah, maybe I like to start, but I also want to keep an eye on our verse here, on our purport. Yesterday and the day before, we heard from our dear Rajendra Kumar Prabhu that in the 1980s, when he joined and when we joined, the Sankirtan program was so intense. And I remember that I met the devotees when I was 16 years old. I was living in Hamburg. There was only a small center, but I didn't even know. They opened the door only on Sunday. But I heard that there was a temple in Berlin. But how to come to Berlin? I was 16 years old, tightly shackled in the chains of the school and of my parents. But then, as you might remember, in the year, I don't know if you remember, some of you did not have taken birth at that time. That was the year 1989 in the autumn. And something huge happened. The Berlin Wall has become open. And all the people from the East Berlin, they could enter West Germany, West Berlin. And that was strictly forbidden for, I don't know, about, let's say, 30 years or so. And so it was not just forbidden. If you tried it, it often cost your life. You were shot down by some arrangements or by a special army force that was looking for this borderline. So it was such a huge event that in Hamburg our teacher decided we go for a one-day trip to Berlin. We have to see this with our own eyes. This is an historical event. And I thought, yeah, I was not so interested in looking at a wall. I had seen it before. I know how that wall looked like. No, I was eager to visit the Hare Krishna ISKCON temple. So we drove with a bus from Hamburg to Berlin. It was about 3.5 hours. And all, especially the teacher, expected that all students, they go for a special place where the major events happened, but one was missing. I was sneaking out and went inside the U-Bahn, and I had the address, and I was driving with the U-Bahn to the ISKCON Bhakti Yoga Center, very near to the famous, world famous and infamous Checkpoint Charlie. I don't know if you have heard about Checkpoint Charlie. That was a place, a border station, and many people try to sneak inside West Berlin through this border station. And one situation was that Soviet tanks and American tanks, there were just 30 meters in front of each other. That was at the peak of the Cold War. And there was a tension that at any second, one of these tanks could fire the first bullet. So the Bhakti Yoga Center was just, Rajendra Kumar, how many meters? We can speak about meters here. 200? We have our dear Kishori. He's an expert because he often was there. 150 meters. So when you open the window and you look like this, you could see the checkpoint Charlie. So I went there expecting, as we heard from Manidhar Prabhu, some Acropolis temple. But it happened that it was a big flat on top of a doner kebab shop. So the devotees, when I remember today, what a big austerity these devotees undertook. Every day, all the smell of that restaurant came into the temple room. And there was a picture like this picture, a little bit smaller, of Panchatattva. That was the altar. But these picture, like Manidhar explained, don't underestimate a picture of Krishna or Lord Chaitanya in the Panchatattva. There was so much mercy from that picture. So I went upstairs. It was the first time I knocked at the door of a Krishna temple, and I had to knock a long time because the temple was almost empty. There was only one devotee. His name is Tribanga Das, and I was fortunate that he was there, because he was just there to pick up new books, a new stack of books. Otherwise, that door would be closed. So he opened, and he saw me, and he prepared his trolley. And he had his it was in the winter time or late autumn. He had his big coat. He saw me. Who are you? And I said, I'm this person. I'm here with my school class, and I wanted to visit the Hare Krishna temple. And he said, no, nobody is in the temple, but you can come with me. No? So the whole day I was walking beside Tribanga in the U-Bahn. He was approaching people in the U-Bahn, and then we went outside the U-Bahn. He approached the people outside, and I was always going with him. So that was my first day at a Hare Krishna temple. So that was my first Sankirtan story, and it was very interesting to witness the Sankirtan spirit from the very beginning. So something about the shloka. We heard about this King Rantideva. So yesterday and also the day before yesterday, we had this prasadam program here, and I noticed that some of the devotees, I guess they were hungry too, as I was, but they prepared everything and they carried up the buckets, and then they served out, and most of the devotees, they took prasadam, and then again they inquired, do you like more? And again they come with the big buckets, very heavy buckets. And so this Rantideva program we have almost at least every festival, and so I want to thank all the devotees who caught this Rantideva spirit, and that is actually the difference between the materialistic mindset and the spiritual mindset. The materialistic mindset is that I want to be served, I want to be the enjoyer. and I have paid to become served, or I'm so special, therefore others have to serve me. But the spiritual mindset is that of King Rantideva. Just very shortly, to tell you that amazing story. Rantideva had fasted for, I think, 48 days, and he followed a certain vrata, and meanwhile there was a famine in his kingdom. So he fasted, and there was a famine, very, very good combination. And when he was about to eat a big plate of prasadam with his family, someone knocked at the door, and a hungry brahmana came inside. Oh, I am so hungry, and there is a famine, and I have heard that you have something to eat. And he splitted his plate into half and gave the brahmana half of the meal. So then after that, he said, okay, still there's a half of the plate. And as soon as he started the prayer, Sharira Vityaja, again somebody knocked at the door, a Shudra came. And again he splitted the meal in two halves. And then he wanted to eat the last remaining again. And someone came in with dogs, a dog eater. And that dog eater said, and also my dogs, they are hungry, they want to drink. So he gave everything away. And then these personalities, they showed up, they revealed their form as Shiva, Brahma, Lakshmi Devi. There are different versions. So before we want to hear your Sankirtan story, I want to share one Sankirtan story of Shivatma Prabhu, which I found very amazing. It was somewhere in the year 1997 maybe. And we had a big festival here, like we have now. And you all know, sleeping, it is not the best time to sleep at a festival. You get hardly sleep sometimes. And so when we left the festival, it was that mixed feeling of total ecstasy and total exhaustion. And we drove to Nuremberg, and there was a big shopping center. And we said, maybe we can make a stop here at the parking lot, take a big nap, 1 hour or 2 hours, doesn't matter. Just take a big rest. And afterwards we can buy some things from that huge shopping mall. So we collapsed on our Sankirtan Einbau, I don't know, arrangement, where you can sleep and all the books are beneath. And I was sleeping, and suddenly someone, it was Shivatma Prabhu, he opened the Schiebetür, the moving door, and I said, oh, your nap is finished? Yes, my nap is finished. I have to go to toilet. Okay, door again was closed. I again fall asleep. Okay, are you ready? I don't know how much time later I was in sleep. Suddenly the door opened again. Paramshreya, I need a Bhagavatam set. And I thought, this is not real. He just wanted to go to toilet. How is this? Fast, quick. And I gave him the Bhagavatam. I had to stand up, open the Sankirtan built-in arrangement, gave him the box, and he disappeared. I thought, this is quite amazing. And so after, let's say, 10, 15 minutes, he came back without the box. And I asked him, so what happened? So he told me, it's a real story from the real life. It's not the typical stories you hear from the Bhagavatam. So he said, I went to toilet, and all of you know that the gentlemen have different toilets than the ladies. You can go to a toilet while standing. So he did that, and beside him another man was also doing his business, his small business. And while both of them standing there, Shivatma Prabhu looked, hey, you look like the chief, the Indian chief, red Indian chief of this whole shopping mall. Häuptling? Yeah, Häuptling. So you have the ordinary red Indian from America, the original red Indians, and you have the chief with all these feathers. Yeah? You look like the chief. And the answer was, you're right, how do you know? He was in business suit. So he asked, how do you know? That's true. Yes, I know many things, and because I have special books. Okay. And he got interested, and so Shivatma Prabhu, he had special techniques to make people very eager. I have special books, but these books, I have 3 boxes in my van, but we want to go to a special book fair exhibition in Zurich. They are very expensive because very valuable. And you know everything about yourself, about spiritual life, about your business. And he became really eager. And at one point he said, okay, I make an exception for you because you have so much responsibility. So, and the rest is history. So yesterday someone mentioned the phrase, this particular devotee is heading for the Sankirtan extreme level. So when you go to toilet, and while going to toilet you distribute books, I think that is one you have came in touch with the Sankirtan extreme. So thank you very much. And we thought that we can make a short, we have an ukulele with us, we can make a short kirtan with you, and then maybe some of you like to tell one story, it must be not an extreme story like this, it can be an ordinary nice Sankirtan story. Now we sing together, but not double.
müsst alle mitsingen, auch die hohen Töne.
We start. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Mit Herz. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare, Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. And now we start with the ladies and then followed by the gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Goranga.
All together, all. Hare Krishna.
Wenn man rausgeht und mal diese Art von Kirtan macht, bei den Ladies ist es sehr beliebt und bei den Familien auch. Es kommt sehr gut an und inspiriert sie unwahrscheinlich. Ein bisschen mal was anderes, was Neues und wie gesagt, das Predigen ist dabei sehr erfolgreich.
Same mantra, new package.
Yeah.
So we have 25 minutes left. And I don't want to steal, I'm in the moderating mood a little bit.
Hare Krishna. So yes, we can. So we will have prasadam at 9:30. So we have 10-15 minutes still. So I'd like to go to the one next important step we want to make today. Actually, we wanted to make it yesterday for the Sankirtan course, but then it didn't work. Then for today morning Mangalartik, after Mangalartik announcements, but then Tamaguna was stronger than me, and I'm not good at Kesh, so I didn't overcome sleep. So, but now we can do it. It's also a very nice situation. And the topic is being happy in Krishna consciousness, and also maybe being happy in Krishna consciousness as a brahmachari. Because sometimes it might be difficult, to be a strict brahmachari and be happy at the same time. So there's this famous passage in the Ramayana, maybe if you know, there's Lakshmana. So Lakshmana, he took this vow of celibacy for 14 years, and you can feel the Shakti of Lakshmana. He was very angry actually, for many reasons, but one of them is described because he was following celibacy so strongly. So this gave him a lot of Shakti, but at the same time, he was also not happy. He was very angry. So, Pita. And Paramshreya and Shivatma Prabhus, I think, are a very nice example of, they've been brahmacharis for many, many decades. And they're obviously very happy. So this is inspiring. And we have Kripasinda Prabhu here. And yesterday he didn't come for this course. I'd like to give to Paramshreya and Shivatma these two items.
Nectar. Oh, nice. Very nice.
And I would like them to hand over this. This is a present from the Sankirtan, but also there's a bundle of saffron cloth. Rivo. And Kripasinda Prabhu, of course, was a brahmachari for a few years, but a few years now he has been in the 5th ashrama, which is sometimes known in ISKCON as Brahmastra, brahmachari grihastha mixture. He has been living like a brahmachari, but still the Brahmastra ashram is a dangerous ashram. It's not the real ashram. So now he's taking shelter again into the brahmachari ashram, and I would like to ask all the brahmacharis present to give your blessings to him.
And if I may interfere, yes. Don't underestimate the blessings of chaste women.
Harigo, very important.
Hare
Krishna. Thank you very much. And so everybody who's present, please give your blessings so he can take shelter of this ashram. And I would like to ask Paramshreya Prabhu, Shivatma Prabhu, and also Sankirtan Prabhu, and any other brahmachari who's inspired, to say a few words how to be a strict and happy brahmachari. Hare Krishna. So, over to Paramshreya Prabhu and Shivatma. Hare Krishna. Kripasindha Prabhu ki jai.
I change. Yes. How many years, brahmachari? 20.
Yes, at least. Okay, I agree.
Very respect for this ashram. Very nice. 20 years. Okay.
Musst ihm jetzt geben. Haribol. Okay, so
A few words of advice how to be a happy and strict brahmachari.
so
You already mentioned one, the
okay,
blessings of chaste ladies.
ja.
Sorry. Brahmachari Kita.
Willst du was sagen zum Brahmachari Ashram? Ein paar Sätze. Ich übersetze das.
Ja. Brahmachari Ashram, sagt Param, soll ich dazu was sagen? Ich kann aus meiner eigenen spirituellen Erfahrung was erzählen. So, Brahmachari, das fängt ja schon an mit dem ersten Lebensjahr. Kleines Baby.
I can tell you something from my personal experience. There is a kind of brahmacharya that starts from the very first year of our life. That could be a stage of brahmachari.
So, das geht bis hoch zum 15. Lebensjahr.
And that goes to our youth.
Und dann versucht man die Entscheidung zu treffen, bleibe ich im Zölibat, bleibe ich Brahmachari oder will ich ein Familienleben führen?
And then at one point one asked the question, should I remain a brahmachari or should I get married and start a family?
Beides ist möglich.
Both is possible.
Und in beiden Situationen kann man auch eine Gottgeweihte sein und ein Gottgeweihter.
In both situations you can remain a devotee, male and female.
Eigentlich gibt es keine Dualität zwischen Brahmacharis und Haushältern.
Actually there should be no duality between brahmacharya and grihastha ashram.
Denn sie machen das gleiche Programm durch und haben die gleichen Prüfungen in ihrem Leben zu bestehen.
They go through the same program and they have to pass the same kind of tests.
Bloß mit einem kleinen Unterschied.
There's a difference, however.
Sie sind immer im Familienleben verstrickt.
The grihasthas are mostly entangled in family affairs.
Wenn sie aber ernsthaft praktiziert haben in den Anfängen, in 10, 15 Jahren, dass sie Zölibat gelebt haben,
But when someone has gotten the training of living in celibacy for 5, 10, 15 years,
und die Prüfungen, die damit zu bestehen sind im alltäglichen Leben,
and he passed the test that came with daily life,
dann können sie sehr, sehr gute Haushälter werden.
then they can become very good grihasthas later.
So für einen Brahmachari meines Alters, ich bin 70 Jahre alt fast,
So as a brahmachari of my age, I'm almost 70 years old.
ist das natürlich eine sehr schwierige Situation.
It is quite a difficult situation
Wenn man es so lange schon praktiziert,
when one practices this for a very long time.
wird man immer mehr losgelöst von materieller Dualität.
One becomes more and more detached from material duality and attachments.
Man wird frei von unterschiedlichen Beurteilungen, was die Menschen und was die Tiere und was die Lebewesen angeht.
One becomes freed from unnecessary judgment, be it various kinds of human beings, even animals, all kind of living entities.
Man dient jedem Lebewesen und macht keine Unterschiede.
One wants to serve every living entity without any differentiation.
Als wir mal bei unserem Freund Padmanabha Prabhu in Vrindavan waren,
when we visited our friend, the Pujari of the Radharaman temple, Padmanabh Goswami,
sagte er uns, Paramshreya Shivatma das, ihr schaut nicht so, sondern ihr guckt so.
He told us that I can see you don't look like, you don't have this vision, you have that broad vision.
Ihr macht keine Unterschiede.
You don't make differences
zwischen Nationalitäten,
between nationalities,
arm oder reich,
poor or rich,
gebildet,
educated,
Schönheit,
beautiful,
hässlich,
ugly,
Frau oder Mann,
women
Kinder,
or men,
überall
children.
ihr die spirituelle Seele und wollt den Menschen dienen.
Everywhere one can see the spiritual soul and one wants to serve.
So, das war ein sehr großes Lob, das wir kriegten von einem Britschbasi.
For me, that was a big Lob. What is Lob? Praise that I got from a Britschbasi.
Aber das haben wir auch gelernt im Sankirtan auf der Straße.
But actually, yes, we can learn this, and especially we can learn this on book distribution on the street.
Das ist die Schulung, das ist das Training.
That is the school, that is the training.
Deswegen sollte jeder junge Devotee
Therefore, every young devotee should
nicht nach 2 Jahren schon heiraten.
Should not unnecessarily get married even or just after 2 years.
Sondern sein Herz erstmal reinigen, denn es ist ja eine Anhaftung in der Materienwelt.
But we can take the opportunity to purify our heart.
Zum Anfang des spirituellen Lebens eine Familie zu gründen.
Because otherwise, when we enter too early into the Grihastha ashram, that is more difficult if our heart is not sufficiently purified.
Erstmal ist es nur Sinnesbefriedigung.
One is too much on the stage of sense gratification.
Und wenn man länger in dieser Beziehung bleibt, fängt man wirklich an, nicht mehr den Körper zu lieben, sondern die spirituelle Seele.
But then when one has the right training, one can learn more quickly the art of not seeing the body and loving the body, but loving the soul.
Es ist ein Reinigungsprozess für alle Varnas und Ashramas.
It is a purification process for all ages and ashramas.
Und wenn wir uns alle an die Regeln und die Regulierungen halten, die der spirituelle Meister uns mitgegeben hat,
and when we keep following the rules and regulations that we received by our spiritual masters,
dann können wir am Ende unseres Lebens zurück nach Hause zu Krishna gehen.
Then at the end of our life we can go back to Krishna.
Also warum nicht ein Leben Brahmachari sein?
So why not remaining for one entire life as a brahmachari?
Ja, auch ein Haushälter kann Brahmachari sein. Oder ist es auch?
Even we can say that you can even be very in this brahmacharya mood while you are in the Grihastha ashram.
Auch eine Brahmacharini kann in Zölibat ein Leben lang leben. Wir haben wunderbare Vaishnavis gehabt, die jahrelang rausgegangen und Bücher verteilt haben.
And even the celibacy can be applied for women. We have great examples in our movement.
Sie waren so pure und so rein.
And we had in our times we had brahmacharinis distributing books. They were so pure.
Sie brauchten nur auf der Straße stehen und die Bücher hinhalten und jeder hat sie genommen.
They just had to be there on the street and offering the books, and
das war die Shakti von Radharani.
then there was the Shakti of Radharani.
Man konnte das richtig sehen.
One could really see it.
Und jeder hatte Respekt und hohe Achtung
Everyone had respect,
und hat sich im Geist verbeugt vor
And-
diesen großen Seelen.
and you could see how people offered obeisances, at least with their mind.
Und da können wir alle hinkommen.
So we
Durch die Buchverteilung.
So we can all come to that stage by the process of book distribution.
Wir brauchen nur unsere materiellen Wünsche mal hinten anstellen.
We just have to put our material desires behind.
Wie das die jungen Sankirtan-Devotees tun.
How you, the young Sankirtan devotees, are doing.
Sie könnten ihre Körper ja auch in die materielle Materie stecken und Sinnesbefriedigung nachjagen, wie das so viele Millionen von anderen Menschen machen, die jung sind.
Young people like you could also dive into the sense gratification ocean in that so many millions of young people are drowned.
Aber sie sitzen hier
But you are sitting here
und sie kämpfen sich da durch.
and you took up the fight.
Sie haben nur ein Ziel,
They have only one goal,
Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga.
So, sie wollen frei werden vom materiellen Bewusstsein, sie wollen nicht einsteigen, sie wollen aussteigen.
They want to dive into Bhakti Yoga. They want to enter the spiritual realm and not.
Und wir haben
Coming
jetzt schon
out.
durch die Bewegung seit Srila Prabhupads Erscheinen 3, 4 Generationen hinter uns gebracht.
And now we have, since Srila Prabhupada's appearance, we have already 3, 4 generations doing this program.
In Deutschland gab es damals 200, 300 Brahmacharis, die rausgegangen sind und Bücher verteilt haben.
There was a time when we had 200, 300 brahmacharis here in Germany distributing books.
Da waren vielleicht 2 Haushälterfamilien bei.
There were maybe 2 grihastas.
Das war eine unwahrscheinliche Energie.
That was an incredible energy.
So, Sankirtan bedeutet nichts anderes, wie im Kollektiv zu arbeiten, sich hinzugeben.
Sankirtan means to work cooperatively and surrender together as
Es ist
a.
nicht der Einzelne, der diese vielen Bücher verteilt. Das denken wir immer.
It is not the one single person who is distributing a lot of books. Sometimes we might get this impression.
Jedes Buch, was wir verteilen, verteilt Krishna für uns.
Every book that is distributed actually is distributed by the help of Krishna.
Und das verteilt das Team, das hinter mir steht.
And there is a whole team behind me that is helping me, supporting me, distributing those
Das
books.
Prasadam für uns macht, damit
there
wir was
is-
zu essen haben.
That there is prasadam,
Dass sie Wäsche machen. Die
That-
waschen die Wäsche für uns.
that our laundry is washed.
Sie tun die Bücher für uns in den Wänden hineinstapeln.
They put the books into the van.
Sie machen nicen Kirtan.
They do a nice kirtan.
Und wir gehen dann raus und verteilen die Bücher.
And we then go out and distribute the books.
Aber nur deswegen, weil wir die Rückendeckung haben von allen Vaishnavas, von allen Devotees, die in den Tempeln Service machen und uns inspirieren, aufbauen, da rauszugehen jeden Tag auf den Schlachtfeld von Kurukshetra, um diese Bücher zu verteilen.
But this is just possible because we have that huge, powerful backup of devotees who in combined teamwork are arranging for all this so that we can go out.
Wir sind eine Sangha, eine Gemeinschaft. Wir arbeiten im Team.
We are a sangha, a team. We are a team.
Das ist wie ein riesiges Puzzlespiel.
It is like a puzzle game.
In den 4 Ecken sind die spirituellen Meister.
In the 4 corners we have the spiritual masters.
Und in den Längsseiten sind die fortgeschrittenen spirituellen Schüler.
And the length side are the advanced sadhus, the advanced devotees.
Und wir kleinen Devotees, wir kleinen Schüler, wir bemühen uns da draußen und gehen Arm in Arm und jedes Puzzle setzt sich nebeneinander in das andere ein.
And we go out and thus we as a puzzle parts, we all keep fitting together.
Und bis wir in die Mitte hineinkommen, wenn noch ein Puzzle übrig ist,
And when we enter more and more into the middle of the puzzle, maybe there is one puzzle missing.
und das letzte Puzzle einsetzen,
And then we we try together to
Dann
put
können wir
that last.
das gesamte Bild sehen.
We together put the last missing puzzle part, and then we see the whole big, nice, beautiful picture.
Und dann sehen wir Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And then we can see, this is Lord Chaitanya, Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vielen Dank, Shivatma Prabhu. Thank you very much. Maybe Sankirtan Prabhu would like to say a few more words, and then we have to prepare for breakfast, and then take breakfast quickly so we can have the Abhishek starting on time. Hare Krishna.
Okay, a few words. How to
be happy, strict brahmachari.
Stay a happy, strict brahmachari. Don't get married. So this is the first advice. Otherwise, you will not be happy brahmachari, of course. And the second thing is, be a devotee more than brahmachari. That's important thing. Because devotional service is blissful in itself, we know the austerity can make the heart little hard. But if we are devotees and we do everything for Krishna, it's a blissful process. And especially when we are with other brahmacharis, there is always some fun, isn't it? There is always some fun in the association of other boys, brahmacharis. And if you are a senior one, it's good to take care of youngers. That also keeps the spirit happy, I would say. With challenges, of course. And if you are not happy, you can consult somebody, and maybe, most of brahmacharis will get married anyway. So at least for the time we are brahmacharis, we are happy. And but we want to be devotees for the whole life. That's the most important thing. And when we are devotees, it's naturally a happy process. It's not so much. There is austerity, of course, but generally we are happy, isn't it? Yeah. So this is my short point. Be a devotee mostly. That's the main thing.
Jai, very nice. Being a devotee, naturally you're happy. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
And Govindadev is funny. Sometimes you have a plan. I had the plan that devotees were talking about their Sankirtan stories, but there's a joke. If you want to bring God to laugh, tell him about your plans. So somehow Lord Nrsingadev had another plan, the Brahmacharya plan. But maybe we can hear at least one short Sankirtan story from this marathon.
Anybody? Representative, willst du eine Geschichte? You want to tell a story from the marathon?
Hare Krishna, thank you. One short story. When you were asking for this, I thought of one lady I met in the very north of Germany. It was actually on the sea coast. It is called Rostock and Wismar. I'm sure you know these cities. And we were distributing the whole day until the evening. And I already prepared to leave. For me, kind of the day was nice and was done. But then I turned around, and in a mystic way, there was still one lady. She stopped, and she listened to me what I had to say, and I showed her the book. It was The Science of Self-Realization. Otherwise, I only had Bhagavad Gitas, but all the Gitas were gone, so there were only the smaller books. It was Science of Self-Realization. And she looked at the title of the book, Die Schönheit des Selbst, and she looked very interested, and then I started talking and explaining, and also that we are living on a self-sufficient farm and so on, and she was interested. And then it turned out she is a psychologist.
Yes.
So I immediately knew, it's like a person from a higher society, a higher state of society. And I wondered also that she is interested in spiritual topics. And I told her also, I wondered that such a person like you, with such a job, whatever, is open for such kind of things. And she immediately said, yes, of course, she is open for that, and she was very interested. And I already wanted to leave and wanted to go, but then at the end of the day, Krishna still gave such an amazing bonbon. And she gave a very nice donation, really. It was not just a donation for printing costs, but like to buy the book even more. And she took the book with her, and she told me a little bit about how she is working. And I thought, wow, one of Prabhupada's books, going together with a psychologist, intellectual person, she's really will look at it very carefully. That was very nice. So I thought, that's very cool.
Jai. Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Shivatma Paramshreya Prabhu's ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhaktarinda ki jai. So please empty the temple room quickly so we can prepare for breakfast. Mahaprasade Govinde. Namo Brahmani Vaishnave. Svalpa Punyavatam Rajam. Vishwasanai Vijayate. Sharira Vidyajal. Jotandriya Tahikal. Jivepale Vishaya Sagore. Taramadhi Jivayati. Lobhamoy Sudurmati. Takita Kutina Samsare. Krishna Bodhadoyamoy. Kori Bari Jiva Joy. Swaprasadana Dilabai. Sayanam Amritapam. Radha Krishna Gunago. Premidako Chaitanya Nitai. Janimai Janitai. Maha Bhagavad Prasadam Ki Jai.